Hello guys and welcome to Odds on Europa League Match Day 7, penultimate match day in the Europa League, and we have Alvaro Romeo, Alain Valnegri to analyze with us the best 8 games we've chosen. So guys, stay with us. Of course, everything is very interesting also in the Europa League, and don't forget to press the like and subscribe. Let's go on now with the show. And the first game we are gonna analyze is Besiktas Athletic Club. This game is not gonna be played on Thursday, but on Wednesday, because there are so many teams in Europe, in the city of Istanbul, a city that Athletic visited recently, and they got a great win against Fenerbahce. Athletic is one of the best teams in this competition. Very likely they are going to finish in the top 8. We know that the final is in Bilbao, and we know how seriously Alvaro Athletic is taking this competition. That's why they are super favorites for this game. But Besiktas, I guess they are going to play for everything, because right now with only 6 points, they are out of the next round.
Yes, they are out of the next round, and I think that Besiktas is in a bigger need. They got 6 points, and the season is not going too well for them. At the end of the day, this is a team that has the likes of 𝐬𝐭𝐴 or Rafa Silva, footballers who went there to win titles, and it looks like Besiktas this year is going to end up empty-handed, at least when it comes to the league, and most probably in Europe too. All that said, coming into this game, even though Athletic Bilbao is the favorite, I take into consideration the fact that Athletic Bilbao is already at least qualified for the playoffs, and I think that they are going to qualify inside the top 8 easily. This is a team that is heading toward a season final that they are looking for, just winning the Europa League. They are out of the cup after losing to Osasuna. The Super Cup is behind them. If they qualify between the top 8 for the next round, that means that in February they will only play league football, which will be very good because Valverde is rotating the squad, and I know that the squad needs a little bit of a break too. So, they are heading towards what they want, which is Europa League late stages. I don't know if final or not, but definitely the next stages. They are Athletic Bilbao, the best defense in the competition, 2 goals conceded. Then Nico and Iñaki are delivering in the competition. Nico 3 assists, Iñaki 4 goals. But it feels an eternity since the last game in the Europa League. And dynamics and trajectories gets affected, that's for sure. And I do believe that in this game there is a team that needs the points much more than the other one. So that's why I'm going to be cautious, even though I think that Athletic is favorite. And, rather than going for the full time, I'm going to believe that this is going to be a goal feast. So I'm going to go for over 2.5 goals, because Athletic is scoring quite a lot of goals in Europe, and that pays 171 over 2.5 goals. If you're a believer of Athletic Club Bilbao, look, Athletic was scoring both halves, pays 2.7. But still, I prefer to stay in the over. I think that it makes a lot of sense, because Besiktas will have to attack, and Athletic, even on the counter-attack, they are pretty dangerous.
Well, Besiktas, Alain, lost to Bodo Glimt and Maccabi Tel Aviv at home, and the last game is with 20 away. That's why they are right now out of the next round, even out of the playoffs.
Yes, Besiktas just signing Solskjaer in the bench. It's the 3rd manager of the season. The things are going really bad to Besiktas, really far to the ambition at the beginning of the season. Is the worst defense in this competition. We saw a lot of limit. The question is, how will Solskjaer will be play with that team, and we will have the first element of answer tomorrow against Athletic. I think Athletic is really favorite right now in Istanbul, and all the people. Fans of Besiktas bet about the victory of Athletic, and I listened the Besiktas fans. I follow their advice, and I choose Athletic Club winning odds 1.92.
Okay, remember, leave me your comments for this game or for the following ones. Now on Thursday, AS Roma. Roma favorites for this game, but remember that they haven't won an away game this season. This stats is crazy, but little by little with Ranieri on the bench, they are doing better, especially at the Olympico. They are getting good results with 9 points in the Europa League. Alain, they still have options to finish in the top 8, especially if they win in Holland. AZ also very likely. In this case, probably to play the playoffs. They drew with 𝗲𝗲𝗿𝗲𝗀 or Galatasaray recently.
Yes, Roma is the best moment of the season in Roma. Ranieri give identity to the team. Hummels is the leader of the defense. In the center, in the midfield, you have Koné like leader. Pellegrini improve. Dybala made a brilliant game, especially the last against Genoa in Olympico. The things are going really well now. Playing every 3 days, we will have some answer about the profundity of the squad, and I think Roma have the squad to play both competitions, Serie A and Europa League. Asset is a bad client. I think is one of the worst underdog you can meet. It's because they compete with every rival, and especially at home. For that reason, I choose both teams to score because AZ is able to score against every team, and the odds 168 for both teams to score. An option is Roma winning is a very good option too.
It's very good option, but they are unable to win a game away, even against Monza or the weakest teams in the Italian football. Alvaro, you know also how tough AZ could be. They played a good game in Bilbao.
A very good game. And Athletic Club Bilbao won, but they suffered a lot. I think, in fact, that the game against AZ Alkmaar and possibly the game against 𝗲𝗲𝗿𝗲𝗀 for a little while were the toughest games Athletic Club Bilbao has played so far in the Europa League. But I was impressed by how physical, fast, young, strong AZ were. And they are competitive too. I think that Alain and I are on the same page here. We like AZ. They are unbeaten since November. They beat Ajax and drew with PSV recently. This is a team that seems to be suited to give you a tough afternoon, and maybe they don't win the winnable games with the same ease as PSV especially. But when it comes to encounters with big teams, they have a game plan. And on top of that, they have had, and I don't know if this is going to make a difference, but possibly yet, 21 days winter break. There has been a small, very small winter break in Italy, but these sides, the Dutch ones, have rested for 21 days, or at least there were 21 days between the last game of 2024 and the first game from 2025. So, the energy will be there for sure, and Roma are going to find it difficult. I mean, Roma in the last game, they beat Braga 3-0, and that was very important for them. In the tournament, they happen to be the team with the most possession, even though that possession sometimes is a little bit edgeless, in my opinion. But the run of Roma is there, and they have been unbeaten in 6. The improvement, obviously, is unquestionable. A couple of draws away lately. You are right, Edu, they don't win away or they struggle, but they drew against Milan in San Siro, and they also drew against Bologna 2-2. So drawing those games away are a positive sign, I would say. Coming into this game, look, I'm going to take the angle of AZ. I think that maybe AZ, I think that they want to lose this game. So a double chance for AZ can be interesting, 170. Asian handicap plus 0.25 for AZ. Then winning, you get half a win. Then drawing, you get half a win. Then winning, you get a full win. It pays 195. But I prefer to stay to the double or with the double chance for AZ. I do believe that this team is much more bony and difficult than people believe.
Well, at one point, I guess Roma have to win an away game this season. Let's see if it's in Alkmaar or in some other game. Next one is Porto Olympiacos. Two European champions in different competitions. Porto third in Portugal, coming from 3 consecutive defeats, including bad teams like Gil Vicente or Nacional, for instance, in their league. With 8 points, they can, so they still have to qualify for the playoffs or even fight for a top 8 finish. The last game is easy, Alvaro, against Maccabi Tel Aviv, but Olympiacos is not an easy rival, and they are topping the Greek league actually with a decent run of form.
Well, the run of form is really good. They haven't lost in the local league since the 27th of October. Ever since then, they have beaten PAOK in Tumba, for example. They've been able to beat Aris, the big games of the Greek league. Basically, they negotiated with them also a 4-1 to 𝐬𝐭𝐴, Athens as well. So, the results are there. In the Europa League, they are not far off from Porto, not at all. In fact, Porto only has 1 more point than Olympiacos. And, Olympiacos this season, uncharacteristically of them, they're having some stability as well. They are not sacking the manager in the middle of the season or anything like that. They seem to be happy with what they've got. How couldn't they if they won the Conference League last year? And, Porto is true, is in a bad run, and it's weird with Porto because when they are in a bad run, they really lose. They had a bad run in December and they lost 3 games in October, and they lost 3 games in a row. And now they have lost 3 games in a row, also against direct rivals too. So, I don't think that Porto is that favorite. Of course, they are playing at home, playing at 𝗛𝗲𝗏. It's difficult for everyone. Let's don't forget Arsenal 10 months ago, how they suffered there. But my angle is going to be Olympiacos, and I'm going to back them with maybe easy things, things that I believe that they are quite likely to happen. Like, for example, Olympiacos to score over 0.5 goals or more. It pays 162, and I like that bet as well. I do believe that Olympiacos can score. If they score, the most likely source will be 𝗀𝐿𝐶𝐵I, who is a really good scorer and who has scored already 4 goals in the Europa League. 𝗀𝐶𝐵I to score 3.2. I'm just pointing you in the direction that I think that the game is going to go. Otherwise, the over 2.5 goals pays 180. But maybe from all of this, my favorite bet will be Olympiacos to score over 0.5 goals, 162. Don't forget, anyway, that Porto has scored in little machine called 𝗀𝗻, and 𝗀𝗻 has scored 5 goals in the Europa League, but him scoring pays less than 𝗀𝐿𝐶𝐵I scoring. And I do believe that 𝗀𝐶𝐵I has a good chance of scoring. So maybe the bet is totally worth it. 𝗀𝐶𝐵I to score 3.2.
Okay, Messi is telling us both teams to score. You also see Olympiacos competing in the 𝗀𝗏𝗏, Alain?
Yes. Yes, because in Olympiacos with Marianakis like president, maybe it's the first time when we have one word, stability. And
Yeah.
I think right now, after the Conference League winning, Mendilibar, the manager of Olympiacos, give that to the team, and we saw that in Greek Cup against Panathinaikos in the field of the green team, catch a draw when we don't deserve to catch a draw, but we deserve a draw, and that one it means a really good 𝗀𝐻𝐴 of the team. Now Porto fired his manager yesterday. The project with Villas-Boas and Zubizarreta start really bad because they are far about Sporting and Benfica. They lose 4-0 against Benfica away. It was more than 50 years they don't suffer a defeat like that in the field of Benfica. Olympiacos known to manage that game. I am really surprised about the odds. I think the odds don't reflect the moment of the team, not the value of the team, the moment of the team. And Olympiacos have some Spanish and Portuguese players. They're known to play against Porto. I choose the double opportunity. In my opinion, Olympiacos 𝗵𝐵'𝐻𝐿, good positive results. The odds are really interesting. Odds 2.45 for the double opportunity.
Okay, you both trust then Olympiacos for this game. Talking about Porto, we go to Fenerbahce. Mourinho is in the mix at home, playing at home Fenerbahce against Lyon. Fenerbahce, one of these teams with 8 points. They finish with 𝗵𝐵'𝗀 at home in this Europa League. One win against Union Saint-Gilloise. They are also in good form. They are second in Turkey. Kind of the opposite, Alain, in this 2025 for Lyon. They haven't started well the year, but they are doing a great European season.
Yes, Fenerbahce recovered 2 points respect to Galatasaray this weekend, and they won 4-0 in Adana. The things are going very, very good. For this game, my question is the synopsis of the game, because Fenerbahce feel comfortable without the ball, and Lyon needs space to attack. When Lyon catch space, it's a really dangerous team. But Lyon don't start well the 2025. They go out against a team from 5th division in France. Right now, the feeling are not the best. They need a game reference to catch again the good feeling with their finish the 2024. Fenerbahce is more centered in Turkish Super League. It's 9 years they don't win the Super League. Mourinho came in Istanbul to win the league, and after the weekend, we must to prepare the big clash against Galatasaray in 3 weeks, and I think the head is there right now. I think Fenerbahce will be qualified. For that reason, I think Lyon will be catch to a positive result like Olympiacos in Porto. I choose double opportunity, 𝐻2 odds 1.73.
All right, Alvaro, how do you see this one?
This is a good game, and I think that Fenerbahce may have a chance because they are more in need. I'm going to apply a little bit the same logic I have for Besiktas, Athletic Bilbao. In that game, I said that Athletic is better, but Besiktas needs the point much more. And with Lyon, it's a little bit of the same story too. Fenerbahce has suffered 2 defeats at home against Galatasaray and Athletic Club this season, but generally speaking, at home, they've been competitive. And they are enjoying a run of 6 games unbeaten. And I believe that when Jose Mourinho is that critical with everything around him, the referees, the league, the institutions, is because he believes. It's because he believes that his sides can get something out of this season. So he's not far off from the top of the league in Turkey. And in the Europa League, I think that they can make that extra effort and qualify. And that extra effort starts this week by getting a positive result against Lyon. Lyon is not bad at all, at least in the Europa League, because they are confirmed already in the round of 16 or via the knockout or via the playoffs. Okay, so they have done it. They are unbeaten in 3 games in the competition, and they are the highest scoring side in the Europa League altogether with Galatasaray. So the quality, the talent, and the firepower is there. And they are the second in balls recovered too. So they are very good on the break, I believe. For example, we could see that when they beat Rangers 4-1 away, when they beat Qarabağ with the same scoreline away from home again. But, as I expressed before, I believe that this huge gap between the match day 6 and match day 7 will have an effect. Some trajectories have changed. Some teams have had the chance to regroup, and I think Fenerbahce is one of those. Fenerbahce is better now than they were in early or mid-December. So I'm going to back Fenerbahce just because they are in a bigger need with a draw no bet, 160.
Good that you guys disagree, so you, the audience, have the chance to listen to both and be convinced either by Alvaro or by Alain Valnegri. Next one is a tough one. Hoffenheim, Tottenham. Both are doing really bad in their leagues. Hoffenheim, luckily for them, they beat Kiel in the Bundesliga to stay out of the bottom three. We listened to 𝗵𝐿𝐼ch recently saying that they are doing a really shitty season and they are out even of the playoffs in this Europa League with only 6 points. Spurs, again, very poor in the Premier League. Alvaro even losing to Everton at the weekend. It looks like they are completely focused in the knockout competitions, the Cups and Europe, because in the Europa League they are doing all right.
They are doing okay, yeah. I think that the Spurs have many problems. I mean, and you cannot only put it down to the injuries, because, for example, last weekend they played with Dragusin, Gray, and Ben Davies in defense, and that is obviously not the ideal defense that Postecoglou would have used. But I think with Postecoglou, we are at a point in which the manager just wants to prove a point constantly. It's very clear to everyone that Postecoglou doesn't want to think about defending that much. He doesn't want to think about, his side being more cynical. He doesn't want to think about his side being a little bit less open in order to stop counterattacks from happening. It's like Postecoglou is eager and willing to prove a point at the expense of his team, because I don't think that Tottenham has done a lot of work when it comes to details. If you compare Spurs, for example, with Brighton and Hove Albion, or with Nottingham Forest, teams that seem to have worked for every possible scenario, and you realize that there is a lack of coaching in Tottenham, and that doesn't look good on the manager. Plus, the manager is angry with the press. So the situation, the dynamic is a little bit weird at Tottenham, but on the other hand, they've got so much quality that they can beat you or score anytime, at least at Europa League level. Obviously, if you put this squad in the Champions League, a Spurs squad, maybe they are lacking something. But in the Europa League, when it comes to the attacking power they've got, they are second to none. So that's why I'm going to back them, because I do believe that at the end of the day, when two teams like Hoffenheim and Spurs meet, and Hoffenheim is in a very bad moment because they are winless in the tournament since October. In the Bundesliga, they won last weekend, but to find the previous win in the Bundesliga, you have to go back to November. Hoffenheim is in a very bad moment, and they don't have the quality that the Spurs have. This is my whole reasoning here. These are two teams that need to qualify for the next round. In the case of Hoffenheim, it won't be a disaster if they don't. In the case of Spurs, it will be a disaster if they don't. Tottenham is in a bigger need, and they got better players. And I think that eventually they will convert more chances than Hoffenheim. This is my thinking. So I'm going to go for an Asian handicap minus 0.25 for Tottenham, which pays 195, despite the disaster I saw at Everton last weekend.
Well, with a win, they will be almost qualified for the top 8. Alain, their last game is against 𝐿Sborg, although you never know. With this, Tottenham is a crazy team, a nightmare for bettors.
Yes, I go to with the same like Alvaro, to with handicap 0.25. Hoffenheim, 𝗵𝐿𝐼ch said the things clearly in a recent interview after the game. I think it was against the Bayern. He said it's the worst season here since I arrived, and this a lot of season he is playing for Hoffenheim. They're super, I think, play every 3 days because they don't have 20 players to play both competition. And that one he pass to a lot of team. You have the big happiness about you qualify for a European competition, but now after when you start to play every 3 days, it start to be hard. And he passed that to Hoffenheim. Tottenham is a mystery. It's one of the most mysterious club in Europe. Big financial powder, but the project are always short. Postecoglou, how many credits have Postecoglou? I think if Sunday he will be lose against Leicester is really important. The game against Leicester is most important than that this game in Hoffenheim. Postecoglou can lose his job because the team have no reaction. Yes, they won against Liverpool, but I don't have the feeling Tottenham will be qualified for the final of the Carabao, because you must go to Anfield now only with 1 goal in advantage, and with the mind about the team so poor to a confident analysis is a really bad thing. But it's a good opportunity for Tottenham to play in Hoffenheim, and I follow Alvaro handicap 0.25 for Tottenham, odds 1.95.
All right, next game, a little bit less glamour in Czech Republic. Viktoria Plzen, Anderlecht, but interesting also for the standings, because Pilsen right now is qualified for the playoffs with 9 points, but their last game is in Bilbao. So I guess they'll need to get points from here. We saw them competing in this competition, Alain, against Man United, losing 2-1, against the Real Sociedad, beating them 2-1. Actually, but Anderlecht is one of the best teams in the competitions. They are third in the standings with 14 points. How do you see this one? Because the bookies see Pilsen as favorite, and remember also that the Czech league is stopped right now.
Yeah, that one is, yes, I think Anderlecht is favorite. Anderlecht, in my opinion, is the biggest surprise in Europa League, because it's maybe 5-6 years Anderlecht suffer a lot in Belgium league, and actually Brugge is the most or Genk are the most dominant than Anderlecht. Pilsen is the team probably with the best skills to kill the talent to the rival, because it's not a team with a really attractive proposition, but is a team play with clear idea, with a strong defensive football, really physical. A block is really compact, and Anderlecht, in my opinion, have a biggest advantage is he's still playing competition, because in Belgium you have the Boxing Day. You play during the Christmas holiday, and you have the rhythm. And Pilsen don't have the rhythm. Pilsen is a team depend of the rhythm, depend of the physicality, and I think Anderlecht have a big advantage. I choose Anderlecht winning with handicap more 1 for Anderlecht, odds 1.67.
Okay, we have actually Anderlecht double chance
yes,
for
double
the odds,
chance. Yes,
1.67. Also, Millie is going for double chance for Anderlecht. Carbonaro, everyone agrees. Álvaro, do you agree?
Well, look at the graphic that soon we'll see in the screen. I do agree. Yeah, I do agree. I'm going to go for the double chance for Anderlecht as well, 170. Then the money is good. I totally agree with Alain when it comes to Viktoria. They make it difficult for you, and they are a good team, Viktoria Plzen. Yeah. I believe, though, that Anderlecht right now, they're enjoying this competition, and both have good weapons, but Anderlecht is already confirmed in the round of 16 via the knockout or the knockout phase, or the playoffs. Anderlecht has collected 4 wins in the tournament. They are unbeaten. They beat Real Sociedad away. Pilsen also beat Real Sociedad, by the way. They've got that in common. But Pilsen has lost 1 game. Anderlecht hasn't. And, I think that the Belgian side is slightly more talented. I'm going to put it that way. Even though, I repeat again, that Viktoria Plzen is not easy to win or easy to beat. And in fact, at home this season, they have lost Manchester United in the tournament. But then their home is the fortress, pretty much. I mean, the last time they lost the game at home, you really have to go back until May 2024. And then the next defeat at home was against Manchester United. But I believe that Anderlecht can get something out of this ground. I have that feeling. So I'm going to go for a double chance again. I think the talent at some point counts, and Anderlecht has a little bit more going forward.
Well, everyone agrees here, going for Anderlecht. Great odds to back them. Next game Interesting one at Old Trafford. Man United Rangers. Man United to win 1.46 or 1.5. But who can trust Man United, Álvaro? Right now, the numbers under Amorim are terrible. The numbers during the season are terrible. As we know, another defeat last weekend at home, and at least in the Europa League, with a win here, probably they will qualify for the top 8. It's the only competitions where they are doing all right, together with the FA Cup. But also Rangers are fighting for a top 8 finish in this competition.
Yeah, and I think Rangers has been very exciting to watch in the tournament, really. Look, this is going to be a good game because at the end of the day, it's two British giants. Even though they have never met in the Europa League, when they have met, it's been in the Champions League. But, you know, this is their new reality right now. They have to face it. Both sides are separated by a point. And yeah, Manchester United is the favorite because they are playing at home. But Old Trafford, it's been a long time that Old Trafford is not a fortress of any sort. It's been a very long time. And the Rubén Amorim effect right now is non-existing. I mean, to the point that manager Rubén Amorim said last weekend that this is maybe the worst Manchester United side in history. He said that about his own team. Obviously, he's looking for a reaction from the players, that's for sure. And he knows that here in the Europa League, they are going to be in the next round. He knows that because Manchester United has been confirmed already in the next round via the playoffs or the knockouts, okay? And he knows as well that the player like Højlund, for example, is delivering in the Europa League. It's weird what this striker is about because in the Premier League, he barely scores. And then in Europe, he's got a really good record. He had it last season in the Champions League. He has it this season in the Europa League. But Manchester United is a team that suffers against teams that are on paper lesser opposition. For example, a week ago, they beat Arsenal on penalties at the Emirates, and that was like, wow, maybe this is a turning point in Manchester United's season, but it wasn't. Because then Manchester United suffered against Southampton, and then in the weekend they lost against Brighton and Hove Albion. So over there is a Manchester United that is still very dysfunctional and suffers when they play against a team that they should beat. Old Trafford is no longer a fortress. And then when it comes to Glasgow Rangers, they are in a good form in the tournament, that's for sure. They've been unbeaten in 4 in the Europa League. In the weekend, no problem. They had a win in the Cup, but that is a little bit irrelevant. And, you know, they also have an energy that is been working for him in the Europa League. They are the 4th side in balls recovered. They are good on the break. They are fast. And then they've got strikers like, for example, 𝐬𝐭𝐴 or 𝗛𝗏𝗃𝗃, who are dangerous, even though 𝗛𝗃𝗃 would like to play more. And there is a rumor that he may be on his way out. But anyway, 𝐬𝐭𝐴 is scoring a good amount of goals. And, you know, him to score or 𝗀𝗏𝗃 to score, for example, have a good value, that's for sure. So if you're looking for the individual market, 𝗀𝗏𝗃 to score, for example, is 5.5, and he scores quite a lot for Glasgow Rangers. But I like Rangers to score over 0.5 goals. Like I did with Olympiacos at Dragao. I think that Rangers can score against Manchester United. Then to score 1 goal or more, pays 162. I'm going to take that one. And there is a very interesting one here that gives a lot of money. Manchester United to win from behind, because they have done it lately, pays 850. So for people to keep in mind as well. But my favorite will be Rangers to score over 0.5 goals, 162.
Even Southampton scored at Old Trafford recently, and the turning point that we thought it was going to come, Alain, after the draws with Liverpool also, and Arsenal, it didn't happen. It looks like it's not going to happen this season, any turning point for Man United.
I think the illustration of Man United is right now is not the game, because we have the habit of a shame game of Manchester United. Is the press conference with Amorim, and I think Amorim is in crisis, because when do you have that type of difficulties, you can go to speak with the press with that words, because we attract the bad things, and that confirm Amorim was not mature to go to Old Trafford. Maybe who is mature, but you are in the Sporting, you are writing the history, because if Amorim should win the Portuguese league this year, He entered like a legend about the manager of Sporting. 3 titles in 4th season. Nobody won that in Sporting. But he chose to go to Manchester in the middle of the season. Who can understand that? Who can understand that? And the difficulties are, there have so many difficulties. And I think right now is in totally crisis. And this game arrived in a bad moment because for Rangers, he has a strong meaning. Going to Old Trafford to play a game. In the last 10 years, Rangers pass or start again from the 4th division. Going to Old Trafford is the game of the year for Rangers fans. And there will be arriving in Old Trafford for an excess of motivation, really interesting. And I think Rangers can be catch a good results because away in Europa League, Rangers catch points in really difficult fields. They draw in Olympiacos, they won in Nice for 1. Against Tottenham, they do a really good game. In spite of that, I see goals like Alvaro. I see Rangers scoring. I hope Manchester will be scored, and I choose over 2.75 goals, odds 1.72.
Okay, and the last game is a really good one. Lazio, Real Sociedad. Lazio topping the Europa League with 16 points, and in the league in Serie A, they bounce back at the weekend, beating Verona after 3 bad results. Real Sociedad, Alain, they must catch a good result here to get options to qualify for the top 8 in this Europa League. They lost to Pilsen and Anderlecht. The problem with Real Sociedad is inconsistency. Again, this season, we saw it on Monday when they lost to Valencia at the bottom of the table in La Liga.
Lazio I'm surprised about the season of Lazio because it was not a summer really with good signing. They lose 𝐬𝐿𝐴, they lose with Alberto, big referent in that vestiary. But Baroni arrived with clear idea. They've changed the model of play, and the team are playing pretty well right now. Now, they had a difficult beginning of the year. They have a good reaction in Verona. Dia is back. Is a good news for Baroni. Now against Real Sociedad is a dangerous game for Lazio because Real Sociedad, I think, they have the skills to adapt to the rival, and I hope we will see the best version of Real Sociedad. And for this game, I think Real Sociedad is able to score in Roma, and for that, I choose Real Sociedad, Lazio, both teams to score, odds 1.95.
Okay, 𝐬𝐵 is going for Lazio to win. Real Sociedad many times are scoreless, Alvaro, as we saw in La Liga against Valencia.
Yeah, it's a team that Real Sociedad is a very good team, that's for sure. By their own standard, we can say that they are having a little bit of a low-key season because last season they were in the Champions League last 16 round and they topped their group. This season they are suffering a little bit more to do what they have to do. That's for sure. But they've been competitive in a few games. I think that against Madrid, Atletico, Barcelona, losing or winning, they show competitiveness. And this game against Lazio, they will take it with the needed seriousness. It's true that, again, it takes them a huge effort to win games to Real Sociedad, mainly because they don't score a lot of goals. And they are still struggling to find the proper good number 9, Óscarsson. Óscarsson the other day, again, he wasn't that player. 𝐻𝐿𝐴 is not a number 9, but sometimes he has to play there, and that's not good for Real Sociedad. You know, if they have a proper scorer, a footballer who scored like 12 to 17 goals per season, they will be in a much better place. But in the last 3 or 4 years, they have struggled to find that player. Also, Real Sociedad is going to be involved in the quarterfinals of the Cup against Osasuna too. So they've got their efforts split between a few competitions. And they are playing against Lazio, and Lazio is in a good moment now. They top the table in the Europa League. They've got the best goal difference in the tournament. They won 3-0 in the weekend, showing that they can score in the set pieces with Gigot. They've got a very good counter-attack as well with the likes of Dia or 𝗀𝐿𝐴, for example, and 𝗲𝐿𝐴 is a footballer that I really rate as well. I think that he's pretty decent as well and quite dangerous, and his movement is excellent. So I like what I see from Lazio, but I think that those sides are pretty leveled, really. Real Sociedad as well, they're going to qualify for Europe, and Lazio too. So, they're about the same level. And I believe that this game can be tight. So I'm going to go for something that I haven't gone for a long time, but I believe it's going to happen here. Asian handicap corners minus 0.5 for Lazio, 173. I think Lazio is going to take more corners because they are playing at home. They will attack more. And, the consequence of that is going to be taking corners. So I'm going to go for that. Otherwise, if I have to commit to the full-time result, maybe a double chance for Real Sociedad, 163 would be good. But I prefer to go for the corners market, really.
Well, Leo or Scott are trusting Lazio. Anyone who loses to Valencia is not to be trusted. They played another bad game indeed in La Liga on Monday. Well, remember, of course, that you have your chance to post your tips on Oddspedia and win up to €1,000 or dollars thanks to our tipster competitions. And also you can participate in Rivals and create your own custom competitions with your friends. There you go. You have there the menu, and there you go with all the tipster competitions we have available. Álvaro, your safe bet?
Ajax to win, 142.
Okay, Ajax playing against Rigas. Futbola Scola away. And Alain, your safe bet?
Manchester United Rangers over 1.75 goals, odds 1.17.
And the ACCA, Alain?
Karabakh Steaua Bucharest over 2.25 goals, Saint-Gilloise Braga over 1.75 goals, Besiktas Athletic over 1.75 goals, Hoffenheim Tottenham winning with the handicap 0.25 for a total 4.71.
You want goals in this Thursday. Álvaro, your ACCA?
Yeah, Ajax to win, Frankfurt to win, Bodo Glimt to win in the Arctic. Altogether, 382.
How cold could be up there, actually, in the month of January? And Bodo Glimt is a very good home team in Europe.
Yeah. They are on holiday, though. Let's don't forget that.
Yeah,
but still, I think that they can make it.
Probably they're in Marbella this time of the year, or in Dubai, or these places. Well, Álvaro, Alain, thank you. Thanks, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.